Hello and welcome. I'm Peter, and this is the Beginner's Fundamental 104 video. Thank you all for who have been following this series, and for those of you who didn't and would like to, here is the link to the previous videos. The previous one was regarding the fundamental of frame data, and in this video we'll be talking about block punishing. As a disclaimer, please note that I will be using frame data information, so this will include terms such as startup frames, frames on hit, frames on block, and etc. and etc. So if you are unfamiliar with these concepts, I highly suggest you watch the previous video before this one, as it will help you gain a better understanding of the concepts I will be talking about here. If you enjoy this video, please remember to smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that when the next video is out, you won't be late and you'll be up to date. It also helps if you like and comment as well. I'm always eager to hear what you guys have to say and think. And with that, enjoy. In this video, we will be covering just one topic, Uno. But it is very important. It is a very important topic, block punishing. And by the way, I will be having a practice section at the end, like most of my other videos in the series, as I do think it's very important to put into practice the concepts and theories that are talked about. Otherwise, you're just having knowledge for knowledge's sake, and while that's fine and dandy, you're not really locking in or sealing the concepts and theories that are talked about. And I think practice is the way to go with that. Now, without further ado, here is your outline. Bam! As you can see, we'll be going over block punishment, but in a very thorough manner. We will be exploring the topics of what it is exactly, why it's important, the ties between block punishment and frame data, and how to get better at them. So again, prerequisite, know what frame data is and all the information regarding it. And if you need kind of a refresher, go ahead and check out the previous video that I had, the 103. And now to block punishment. Alrighty guys, block punishing and block punishment. We finally arrived. But this is such an important topic, I want to break it down bit by bit. So let's first define what it is. Alright, block punishment is when you block an attack, naturally, as the word says, from your opponent, and then retaliate upon your opponent with an attack of your own while they're still recovering. So I've gone ahead and chosen an example here. A very obvious example that we can visually see. This is Devil Jin's forward 4-3 attack. This move is minus 33 on block and is extremely slow on recovery. As you can see, I turn my normal color here, indicating that I can act and perform and do all the moves that I want to do, while my opponent still is recovering from his. See, he's still blue. Now, if I retaliate on my opponent while he is still blue, rather while he's still recovering, then this is what we call block punishment. Simple, right? Easy to understand. Definition, done. Okay, next topic. Block punishing, why is it so important? Well, it's another way to get damage on your opponent. And if you're really good at it, it's actually a surefire way to get damage on your opponent. And there are a number of moves in the game to get damage on your opponent, as I'm sure all of us know. You know, either through regular hits, either through throws, either through whiff punishing, and block punishing just happens to be another source of damage, right? For you to utilize. But what makes block punishing an interesting source of damage is that it lets you as the defensive player be rewarded for blocking certain attacks and basically just kind of retaliating on your opponent and playing good defense. See, if you're patient enough and block certain attacks, you're able to retaliate on the aggressor and turn your defense into offense. Of course, do keep in mind that block punishing damage will vary depending on what moves your opponent decides to throw out and what moves you're throwing out, right? Not every move is able to be punished, and some moves can be punished harder than others. Okay, the second reason why block punishing is so important is that it's a way for you to deal with attacks that are otherwise broken if left unblock punished. Well, what do I mean by this? Well, in Tekken, the better an attack is, or you can think of it, the more powerful an attack is, the more block punishable it will be. Generally speaking, please don't quote me on this, generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, when you block a very powerful move, you're able to block punish it for big damage. It's a way of the game kind of trying to balance itself out. For example, actually prime example, Snake Edge. We all know this move, Snake Edge, is a very powerful move in the lower levels because it can yield very big damage if not blocked. I mean, just look at this. Fucking look at this shit. Like, it does so much freaking damage. It practically erases 45% of your health bar because it's not blocked or not properly block punished. And because of this, you're able to block punish it for very big damage as well, right? These big moves have big rewards, but if block punished, it yields you, the player who's blocking it, very big rewards as well. And there are loads of these moves, and I'll be playing them in the background as I talk here. But the examples I'll be, just showing out is, Law's down 2-4, Law's flip kicks, Law's forward 4-3, Horang's back 3, Horang's down forward 3-4, Heihachi's demon uppercut, hell sweeps, King's Atlas hammer, Lily's Matterhorn, and of course our favorite, most hated move, this one. Paul's Phoenix Smasher, aka Death Fist. Now, all these moves either lead to big damage like a combo, or they'll just chew a good hole in your health bar. So that's why it's crucial to know about block punishing and to actually properly block punish. And if you're able to continue and block punish these big moves that your opponent's throwing out, it will eventually, if they're a good player, force your opponent to use smaller moves, less damaging moves, because no opponent wants to be retaliated upon and lose a third of their own health for throwing out one of these moves. So eventually they'll catch on, and they want to deal damage to you, not to themselves. So in essence, eventually when they do stop throwing out these big moves, it's going to allow you, remember this idea? Limiting options. So it will allow you to stop looking for like 100 different moves that they may be throwing out or something, and kind of pinpoint specific moves, because now you've taken these moves out of their repertoire. But back to the point of dealing with attacks that are overpowered or broken if left unpunished. If you can dissuade your opponent from using these big moves that are really powerful, you could also in essence force them to play out of their comfort zone. Especially in the lower ranks, in the beginner levels of Tekken. You see players who are just throwing out these, moves like Law's somersaults or Brian's snake edges or, Lily's Matterhorn, Atlas hammer, Phoenix smasher. They're constantly being thrown out, constantly, non-stop, spamming almost. But when they play an opponent who all of a sudden is able to block punish these moves, oh my god, all of a sudden their game plan just fucking crumbles. They have no game plan because they have no idea how to use the rest of the moves of the character. They're literally just, relying on these very niche set of moves. And now all of a sudden you're forcing them to use other moves that they naturally don't use or aren't even aware of. And this is the strength of block punishing. It starts limiting them and kind of guiding them into a different corner that they're not used to, that they're not comfortable in. And anytime you can get your opponent not comfortable, then you start swinging the game in your favor. So, long story short, block punishing is very, very important because it limits your opponent's options and it allows you to turn your good defense into offense. Alrighty. Now, probably wondering, why in the world did we go through, like, I don't know, some 25 fucking odd minutes of going over frame data and some more time on block punishing? Like, what do the two have to do with one another? Like, what is it? Well, fucking everything, man. This is everything. This is huge, and it's gonna be huge payoff, my friend. Huge payoff. So, this is gonna fucking blow your mind if you don't already know it. Most attacks in the game are minus frames on block, meaning, again, during this time your opponent cannot attack or move or block during these minus frames because they're recovering. And all the attacks in the game have a startup frame. Well, if you put these two ideas together, alright, put these two ideas together, you'll see that if your move on startup is equal to or faster than your opponent's minus frames on block, then you can block punish your opponent with that specific move. Alright, so let's take an example here. Fang's back 1+2. Iron Mountain, or also known as his shoulder attack. This move is extremely strong because it comes out very fast at 13 frames and deals a chunky size amount of damage on hit. And because of how strong this move is, it is balanced by the fact that it is minus 19 on block. And if we look at Brian's moveset, we can see that we can block punish it with 90% of our moves in the game. Like, I could literally just choose a move and I could probably find a move to block punish it, right? And one move that we're gonna look at is Brian's jet upper. It is coming out at 14 frames, so it starts up in 14, and taking from what we've said before and applying it to this example. Fang's back +1+2 is minus 19 on block, and our jet upper is 14 frames on startup. As soon as we block this move, we can start punishing Fang's attack with our own. And because Fang is still recovering in his attack, we have 5 frames of leeway to do this, right? Now, I want you to keep this in mind because the closer your move is on startup to your opponent's minus frames on block, the harder it is to block punish, right? So we're gonna take another example here. This is another popular move by Fang, his back 1. This is significantly harder to punish because back 1 on block is minus 10. All right, and our fastest move to punish this is 1-4 or 2-3, and it starts up in exactly 10 frames. This means this move has to be punished almost immediately. As soon as you see it, you have to punish it. And that makes it so much harder to punish than back 1+2. All right, you got that? So just to recap, not all moves can be block punished with the same move, and some moves are much harder to block punish than others, but the ones that are easier to block punish, you should definitely take full advantage of it and find the best like launcher or find the best, most damaging option you can find. And the ones that, you know, are faster moves or recover less frames on block for your opponent, then you'll have to do with what you got, man. Like that's Tekken. Alright, so I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, how do I get better at block punishing? because you know, sometimes I see my opponent throw out a move, but my reaction time is just too slow. You know, there are some moves that are minus 14, and I can't get my punish in time. But you know, if you look at the pros, they got it down every single time. Like, they see a move, they punish it. They see a move, they punish it. Like, how is their reaction speed so much faster? How are they so good at it, but I'm so bad at it? Alright. What is not being told here when you see the pros is that a lot of this is not them actually seeing the move, registering what move it is, and then block punishing it and processing all this in their head. What's actually happening is they've got it down to literally muscle memory. Alright, and what I mean by that, muscle memory, is that they've associated the visual cue already to what needs to be done in their controller or their arcade stick or what have you. Right, so if you're new to the game and you see something like, I don't know, see Fang's shoulder, and you're like, oh, it's a minus 19 move, I need to go ahead and punish it with one of my launchers, like a hop kick or a jet upper or, you know, whatever. By that time, it's already too late, because this whole processing thing is just taking up some of your frame time to actually input it. But what the pros have done already is that as soon as they see the move, they're like, all right, this is what I do. Like, they just automatically do it. It's so ingrained in them that they just do it already. So the short of it is, to get better at block punishment is literally just going into the lab, the practice mode, recording the computer doing a specific move over and over and over and over until you can literally see it, punish it, see it, punish it, see it, punish it, and you don't even have to think about it. That's the key to getting better at block punishment. Literally just ingraining it, burning it into your fucking mind until you see it, and then you can react to it immediately. So in the next section, I'll show you guys how to set up the computer to properly practice this. All right, so see you in the next section. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set up the computer so that we can practice properly block punishing. Go ahead and select whatever character you want to practice block punishing with, and select the character that you want to practice block punishing against. In this case, I'm just going to use Brian and Feng because that's what I'm comfortable with and kind of want to practice with. So, going to go hit start. And then here, under CPU opponent action 1, we're going to change it from stand to repeat action. Under repeat action, you have 5 total actions that you can repeat. And additionally, down here you have the intervals between actions, which will change how quickly the computer does the actions between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, how quickly it will change between them. For this purpose, we're going to keep it at normal. Now we're going to go to repeat action 1 and go to record. Now, as the prompt says, you will be controlling the opponent now and record their movements. This also includes their inactivity and when they don't move. As soon as we hit the button, it's going to show that we have 30 seconds total to record 30 seconds of whatever we want the computer to do. In this case, I'm going to start recording. And I'm going to do Feng's back 1+2, and immediately after I record the back 1+2, or whatever move you're going to be recording, you want to hold back for the computer to block, as if it's a real opponent who just threw out a move and they're trying to block. So, record, and I'm going to hold back and block. Alright. Now, I'm going to change 100 all the way down to 0. And the reason I do this is so that I can turn the action off at 0 and then turn it back on at 10. I don't care that it's at 100 because I'm going to keep it at 0 and 10. 0 is off, 10 is on. So if we go back and reset the position, we can see the computer does the action that we just recorded and it's blocking. So if I'm too slow, it will block. And if I'm on point, it will say punish on the left side of the screen. Now, we're gonna go ahead and record the second one. Second move I wanna record is phones back 1. We're going to record it like we did before. We're gonna do the action and then hold back to block. Hold back to block. All right. So now we have 2 actions set, and both are going to be options that we're going to try to punish. Now, action 1 is going to be jet upper, and then action 2 is going to be a faster punish, which is 1-4. So these are the 2 that I'm going to be practicing. And what I like to do initially is to just have repeat action 1 and get used to that. Right? Do one at a time. Once I get comfortable with it, you know, once I get it consistently enough, something where I'm like, oh, okay, I see it, I'm able to punish it. Right? Just do it a couple times, get used to it. I turn that off. Repeat action 2, I turn that on. And then I practice against this. Right? If I'm too slow, it blocks. Too slow, it blocks. Right? On point, it's going to be punished on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, it's just all a matter of practice, man. It's all a matter of practice at this point. Where you turn both on. Oh boy. Since I'm recording for YouTube, this is probably gonna go terribly for me. But now I have both options here turned on. I'm gonna go play it. Too slow. On point. Too slow. Too slow. So you see here, it's just a matter of repetition. So the more you do this, the better you're gonna be at it. And don't feel that you have to practice both at the same time. You know, it's always viable to go back and forth between practicing, you know, just one move at a time, and then practice one move at a time to kind of get the animation down, so then you're ready, and then you can turn both back on. And of course, if you want to add more actions into here for you to block, that's totally viable as well. So I really hope this helped you guys. This is how I practice block punishing, and yeah, have fun. Well, that's all, folks. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this really helped some of you guys who are, you know, have some questions about block punishing and who might be having some trouble or struggling with how to properly block punish, or how to even begin to practice block punishing. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and leave me a like, comment, or subscribe, as I truly appreciate that. And let me know if you enjoyed the content at all. Going forward, I know some of you guys had put in requests for specific things. Don't worry, I got you. I'm working on those. I've been extremely busy at work. Additionally, all of last week I was just absolutely sick. So yeah, please bear with me as I get all of this content rolling. And thanks again. Have a great day. This is Peter, and I'm signing out. Take care, guys.